What do you believe is a cold hard truth that you think the average person refuses to accept? Just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility. My dad put it to me another way, specifically in regards to driving, but I think it can fit in any situation. You may be right, but you can die right. Appearance really matters a lot. The best example on this was when I read that in court, the majority of good-looking defendants received shorter sentences, regardless of the crime committed, compared to uglier defendants committing the same crime. Preemptive edit. This was based on who the jury/judge considered good looking, not my own personal view of beauty. Ever heard of the halo effect? What it means, if I simplify it, is that when you have one good quality/trait, other people may think you have a lot more. So if you're attractive, other people may think you are a kind person. Or if you have good grades in English, they will suppose you have good grades in other subjects. A lot of people refuse to believe that Ted Bundy was a serial killer because he was a good-looking guy. I believe he also impressed when conducting his own defense, to the extent that the judge said that it was a shame he'd gone down the whole slightly murdery path because he could have made an excellent lawyer. Paraphrased, if you're attractive, on average, you're not going to have to work as hard as someone who is unattractive to get ahead in life. Appearance may matter, but that doesn't mean if you don't have the greatest natural looks, you can't look good. Maybe you're fat. Not hating on fat people, but let's say you are. You can go to the gym, lose some weight. Don't want to? Dress sharp as hell. Get a tailored suit, you command the room. This isn't the only example, but there are alternatives for not looking good. You will get further knowing the right person compared to having the right qualifications. There is no such thing as karma or justice. There is only nature, and nature does not care. But invisible internet points. Only a handful of people will remember you, or even care when you die. I've heard a saying that you die twice. Once on your actual death, and once the last time your name is ever said out loud. My sister passed away about 1.5 years ago. I know it's odd, but I say her name out loud once in a while just to keep her alive. That not every person is automatically beautiful. Some people are truly average. It should be not everyone is beautiful, but that's okay. But some of you are ugly ducks and there ain't shit you can do about it. Without us, there would be no horror movies. More poetically, without you there would be no pretty people either. Finding out what or who is to blame for a problem is not the same thing as solving it. You need to tell my boss this. You will encounter situations where there is nothing you can do about it. There is no point in bitching. There is no promise that the person you will love will ever love you back. There's also no promise that you'll ever love back the person who loves you. That people prefer a comfortable lie over an uncomfortable truth. But knowledge is preferable to ignorance. Better, by far, to embrace the hard truth than a reassuring fable. Carl Sagan. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. If you are born into a poor family, you will likely die poor, and so will your children. Contrary to American beliefs about equality of opportunity, one's future socioeconomic status is highly influenced by that of his or her parents. Lots and lots of data backs this up too. So many people point to outliers as examples of what is possible. Even worse is that so many people consider themselves outliers, even though their bank statements say otherwise. The GameCube controller is the best controller for Smash. The GameCube controller is the best for anything Nintendo. Wrong. The DK bongos are way better. All that shit your parents told you about being special and able to do anything you want with your life is more than likely not true. The sky is not the limit. Your intelligence, drive, ability to network, charisma, etc. is the limit. My parents found a clever loophole to this. They always told me I had great potential. Well sure, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Those unlucky enough to be born with severe mental disabilities? Some people live shitty lives and then die. That they're average. For the vast majority of people, it's not a question of can my job be automated/outsourced, it's will it happen in my lifetime. Most people seem to believe robots and automation are only a threat to the lowliest retail and manufacturing jobs, but that's being proven increasingly wrong every day. Robots aren't the problem, our non-progressive societal structure is. Automation and efficiency should be making all our lives easier, not just increasing profits for a few to the ruin of everyone else. WTF world, we used to have suffering because we lack the ability and knowledge required to provide for everyone. Now it's because we just don't want to. Fat people are unattractive and not perfect just how they are. If you are fat, you are eating too much. If you are fat, you're not healthy either. America is not a democracy. It's a republic, goddammit. There is not someone for everyone. Get a cat. Your purchase choices are probably fueling slavery, but convenience often trumps ideology, so whatever. You are entitled to nothing because no one owes you anything in the grand scheme of things. Bullshit. Chad from grad school owes me $20 for being able to have ice down my pants for 20 minutes. That so much of our troubles and worries just do not matter in the grand scheme of things. The law against murder is the #1 thing preventing murder. Louis C.K. I know it's comedy, but this just isn't a truth. Quite a lot of murder goes unsolved even in first world countries, leading me to believe that if I really wanted someone dead, I could find a way to do it. The thing is, though, I just don't want to go around killing people. And I suspect most others are like me. The level of civilization your culture possesses is always and everywhere more important than what the laws say. 1. Looks matter. Studies found that a better looking person and above average in height will be viewed by strangers as more honest, kinder, smarter, better fit as leader, and in possession of other desirable qualities. 2. Luck matters too. Some dumb people can get really lucky and get successful way before you do. How long they keep that success is unknown. Unfortunately, life is a marathon, not a sprint. 3. People, even some of your friends, all want you to do well, but maybe not as well as they do or better. Except your parents or SO. 4. Some people are born with genes that A. Enable them to sleep significantly less hours yet still be more energetic than others while awake, and still be healthy, emphasis. And B. Enable them to be able to concentrate on tasks for longer periods, and with higher efficiency. So hard working is partly genetics, and training can't fix everything. 5. When spent correctly, money does buy happiness. Society doesn't care for you as a person, it cares for what you can give to it, and will reward you accordingly, if it feels like it. Anyone can suffer from mental illness. It is not only the weak. We need to stop calling those with mental illnesses crazy, or attributing it to their personality. The truth is that any one of us could suffer the same fate. Mental illness equals crazy. Physical illness equals brave warrior. Our solar system is mortal and won't be around forever. Eventually Earth and all of its life will be destroyed. There's a reason humanity needs space programs and research. Yeah, but we still got a couple billion years before the sun starts running out, so we got time. Racism is much more pervasive than we would like to believe. Never less how good you are in something, there is always a 12-year-old Asian who is better. Said this before, but having a serious disease or disability does not automatically make someone a good person or just simply serving in armed forces. I know a kid with cerebral palsy. He's an absolute cock. I lived with one once. A few of my friends thought it was wrong that I called him out on being a douche. Man, he was a giant douche and a turd sandwich wrapped into one. Sort of similar. This kid who went to my high school killed himself senior year. He was pretty popular, or at least well known, and literally the entire school was like, oh, he was the nicest person ever, blah blah blah, even if they never met him. No, duck that. The dude was an asshole. I'm not going to jump on the sympathy train. It sucks that he killed himself. Stuff like that is always sad, but I'm not going to pretend we were buddies, or that he was an incredible person just because he's dead. Now, I hate when people thank me for my service. It's a super blank statement that really means nothing. I'm not a great person, I'm not terrible, but completely average. Same. I usually say something like, well, they paid me, and I got a shitload of money for school. I didn't do it for free. Plus most people I worked with were what I would classify as genuinely bad people. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Dad wasn't playing hide and seek 11 years ago. Stop looking. One way or another everyone's an asshole. That we are addicted to our phones. Next time you are out, walking down the city, look around. Look how much time is wasted on those little screens. Just because you're smart and talented doesn't mean you will succeed in life. Most people don't do things because they're good or bad people. We just perceive it that way because we sort people into teams and behave tribalistically. Every story we look for good guys and bad guys, and once we have picked sides we assume everything the other side says is hopelessly misguided at best or intentionally deceitful at worst. Religion was created by man to help him deal with struggles, sadness and natural disasters that weren't understood at the time. The number one thing stopping people from doing what they want is almost always themselves.